Okay, I've taken the liberty to go ahead and separate the two halves of the airplane, and they're right along here, here, about here, and then across the top of the back, and then the same on the other side. You cut those with a sharp blade, and this whole top half comes off. And I've unplugged these two aileron wires, but I saw the tags on there. I thought, well, surely they're labeled, but they aren't. So when I plug those back in, I'll have to initiate the controls and see if they were right before I tape the two halves back together again. And then, on the board, you have 1X channel right here in the center. And hopefully switching modes or anything doesn't send a signal to the board. But it doesn't look like I can because there's only two wires coming out. Okay, so that's not a problem. I was going to say maybe I'd have to disconnect one of the wires, but he's only put two on there, one for power, one for ground. That's awesome. And then he has each side labeled left and tail, I imagine. And then the other one is R for right. So you got your right wing, left wing, and tail in this bag. So I would imagine that right is the starboard side. So it will be mounted up inside the bottom. Oh, and he's even put some double-sided tape on there. Nice, bud. Way to do it. Now what I've done too is, because that double-sided tape will stick up under the bottom side inside of here, on the top I've cut the tape that went here and here so that I could then, with a little bit of persuasion, pop the top up. And as you can see, hopefully, I can get enough of it up to go ahead and put the wires up through the hole in the center and then get them out to the wings to make a nice clean installation. And I will run them probably forward along the spar to hide them, and then it'll have to go on out to the wingtip from there anyway. And then for the landing lights, I think I'll put one right in front of each servo. That's probably about the right distance out, I would think, for the landing lights. So there you have it, the tear down to prep in order to get the lights installed. Now what I'll do is I'll plug it in to the board, lay out all the lights, left side, right side, and then I'll plug it in, find out which ones go to the tail, and I'll route those along the bottom to the back as far as I can, and then I will go ahead and let that lead out, probably the starboard or the port side, out the back, and follow beside the push rod so it kind of blends in behind that, and put the tail light out on the tail somewhere. Not quite sure where yet exactly. So there you have the prep of it. You can see what you're going to be getting into. And again, you know, he's already supplied the double-sided tape on here. I'll just peel that off and stick it up underneath there after I've run the wires. I haven't decided what tape to use on that just yet. I might use some Blenderm hinge tape and cut it in half lengthwise so that it's not real wide, because these wires are so thin it ain't going to take much. You can see by the width of my finger. And yes, I have fat fingers, but yes, so they blend in with the rest of my body. Anyhow, that is my plan of attack. I remove the camera, and then I'll have to put the camera wire back up through the hole in the top. But once I get the lights in place, I'll show you how I've routed them.